Welcome back, everyone, and welcome to Lanterns of London, episode 10. This one is going to be a bit of an interlude. After last session, um, our party now has their very own disused matchstick factory in Whitechapel, and various things have been going on in their lives, and I want to give them all a chance to explore those. That said, there are a couple of mechanics I want to quickly explain before we get started. One, during all of our games up until this point, our characters have been accruing XP and spending them in the background to get improved skills, new qualities, and abilities. Some characters may wish to do that during this session. Some will want to do it between sessions, but we might talk about some of those today and give an insight into how that's happening. There is also a mechanic that we've been using between sessions called downtime actions. This is how some of the wondrous creations some of our characters have been using have come about, and various other things happening in the background as well. We will explore some of those downtime actions during the session so that we can see them on screen where appropriate. That said, this session is going to cover quite a stretch of time. We're going to pick up a day after your previous adventures. Nick, Alice had two items from the house of relevance. One she gave away to Oliviera, which was the remains of the machine. There was also the envelope filled with punch cards. What is she doing with that?
Well, I'd say as she's leaving, I assume we're all kind of like scattering off in the factory. As she does that, she sort of like puts her hand in her bag and is like, "Oh, yes," and she hurries to catch Oliviera. And just goes, "Dr. Rice, there's something I forgot." And she sort of like hands
Oh,
out the envelope. This had the other punch cards in it. I don't know if it's going to be relevant or not, but I thought you might it might come in handy. So she hands it out.
thank you, Alice. It's much appreciated.
Not at all. Um, Actually, while I have you here, there's just one other thing. I recognize that after the evening we have had, you are likely to want rest and recuperation. Completely understandable. I shall be doing the same. However, I did have a small request, and feel free to refuse if you need to. If you cannot oblige, but the way that my routine works day to day, I usually have some time to run errands. Usually just small things, the dressmaker, purchasing some things that I am missing, new gloves, perfume. If you happen to be free in the next few days, I should like to invite you to accompany me.
That would be lovely. Thank you.
Not at all. I was I was merely thinking most of the time that this group has spent together has been in mortal peril, which is not
Hmm.
necessarily a terrible way to get to know someone, but certainly less, how do I phrase this? It is a touch stressful.
Hmm.
I thought that I should like to get to know you better on a more personal level. And if there are, she kind of like looks askance, like away, but if there are some things that you should like to know about me, then I can do my best to provide you with those.
Your trust. in that particular matter means a great deal. Thank you. I will do my best to elucidate details about myself, though I must admit there is a lot I am still discovering. But perhaps we can figure some of those things out as a team.
2 heads are better than 1, as they say.
And sometimes even more can be useful. If ever we wish to invite the others to accompany us.
Well...
But for now, I
yes.
think 2 is company, no?
Quite so.
As long as we can find a bookshop.
Oh, of course. Oh, actually, while I'm at it, we have some of our floral arrangements around the school have been wilting a bit. I should think finding a flower shop would be good too.
Oh no. Flowers, I forgot how... Sooner rather than later. Yes.
Oh, are you buying flowers for someone?
Oh, my, I was the ward of a gentleman and live with an elderly relation of his who likes it when I buy flowers.
Ah.
She requested some lilies, and I completely forgot in all the adventure we had.
Oh, that can hardly be your fault. We were stuck in there for some time. I shall tell you what. Why do we not go and get them now? What was she looking for exactly? Or was it simply a request for some sort of flower?
Oh, just lilies. She was no
a fine
more
choice.
specific than that.
A fine choice. I do have one recommendation. Do not buy white ones. They are lovely on their own, but I'm afraid they have some connotations when it comes to funerals. Particularly in Japan, they are used more or less exclusively. She starts walking away, and she's still rambling about how, like, in Japan they have like the thing that's
I just kind of go with, and I'm just listening, just fascinated. Go off to buy flowers.
Tristan, would you head back to the Yates, or would you stay where you are, or what would Tristan do the day after this?
The day after this, Tristan has started the process of taking an inventory of what resources are left in the factory before heading back to the Yates. In his head, he's just trying to figure out how to make all of this work while keeping Margaret, housed and fed and befired. And so just kind of absent-mindedly riding his way back to the estate with a little notebook of of onion thin pages that he just keeps flipping through, trying to make numbers work in his head.
Certainly, there's a great deal of machinery that's still in place. There's boilers and ovens and dipping vats. There are also some chemical vats in the basement, along with the pumps to pump the white phosphorus up onto the first floor. All of them empty. The actual substance itself has either been sold, simply not replenished in the last few weeks of operation. There is also a quite significant amount of timber for the actual matchstick making machine up on a higher floor of the building. So there's quite a lot of machinery there. Whether or not it's still saleable, you would need to explore, but it's also just quite a significantly large space. Lots of now empty crates, the merchandise having been sold off and removed, but it's got potential. It's run down, it's empty, it's dusty, but there's plenty of space to be used.
I think on his way, this is the day after, or is this like the
This
day?
is the day after, I would say.
Okay. So he would have been back to the Yates. Actually, no, I would say he didn't go back to the Yates that night. He actually has gone to St. Hubert.
Oh, he's come to the church.
Mm-hmm.
Understood. Just for my understanding, Nathaniel, I assume, would have headed back to the church. Would Edmund have headed back to work as usual, just so I can know whether or not Edmund would find him? Tristan would find him there.
Don't know necessarily whether it would be the following day, but he would eventually, yes, he would go back to BAU.
Okay. When you head to St. Hubert's, you will find its deacon going about his usual business, preparing for sermons and the like.
I think Tristan takes a seat in the back. He, at one point, very briefly, nods his head at Nathaniel with the sense that he has something on his mind that he doesn't know if he's ready to talk about, and sits down and is continuing to thumb through an alternating, like he's two-fisting in one hand. I'm sorry. In one hand, he's got the little ledger book, and in the other hand, he has a notably underused copy of the Bible.
Yep. Nathaniel, there is a soul in need of guidance within your church. You feel that, given you are being called to your holy orders soon, perhaps this is as good a test run as any, perhaps.
Nathaniel, being the perceptive person that he is, thinks Tristan might feel more at ease if he isn't just there being there. So he'd ask perhaps if Tristan could help him with something menial, like lighting the candles, or just giving him something to do with his hands while he does things in his brain as well.
I don't think I've ever noticed how many... Sorry, I was about to use terminology that's wholly inappropriate given the venue, but I don't think I ever realized quite how many candles there are in here. Is this normal? Is this a normal amount of candles?
For a place like this, yes.
Wholly inappropriate terminology.
Yes. How are you holding up with, the everything that seems to have consumed our occasional days together? I almost called you father, as if in a moment of presage.
Well, I'm having a difficult time accepting.
Why is that?
I know the work we have been doing is good, but I'm being pulled in a direction I don't like people going in. That, and Father Sullivan has just honored me by saying I would be ready for denomination. So, not denomination, what's the word?
Ordination.
Ordination, yes. Ordination, so...
Father, indeed. The ends are holy, the means somewhat more questionable.
I just believe my place is here, not out on the streets, hunting. what we've been hunting.
Has there never been any shepherd that went after the wolves?
I'm sure there have been, but I've spent my time amongst wolves already. I would like to be with the sheep for a good while.
Is that a veiled reference to me and to our friends, or?
No.
Perhaps it should be.
If you're wolves, then so am I.
I was never a very good Christian father. Oh, I keep doing it again. I'm sorry, that's about how bad I am at this, but...
Nathaniel is fine.
Nathaniel. You were there, in the attic. You saw. You heard. What did I say? What did he say?
He spoke of the machine, about beings, predators. And then you destroyed the machine.
And I remember nothing except my arm at the end of the swing. Not even the sound of glass, and that's some of my strongest memories are the sound of breaking and cracking. As I said, I was never a very good Christian, but my understanding was always that there was only one spirit that was supposed to indwell in a person. Do you think this... I don't know what this voice is that's in my head.
Neither do I. And I suppose that's not much comfort. But if you want, find out.
I would take comfort in that, at least. Nathaniel.
Then we'll see what we can do. And, by the way, I find that I enjoy the company of good people a lot more than just good Christians.
Oh. And yet you make do with a modest one, so... And there are still quite a few candles left. Shall we?
We shall.
Edmund, I will let you decide whether it is this day or another that you return to St. Hubert's.
It is not this day.
Okay, then we will get to that in a bit. Lily's purchased. Oliviera walks off into the snow. And Alice heads in another direction. Back to Mrs. Radcliffe's finishing school for fine young ladies. You make your way through the courtyard, through the main doors. Lucy is passing you on her way out, dressed in a fine fur coat. Smile doesn't quite touch her eyes. You make your way through to see your matron. Before your knuckles can land on the wood of her door, you hear her voice. Come in.
I go in.
Report, Alice.
Well, it was quite a thing to experience, ma'am. Mr. Wright asked us to investigate his house. Apparently there was a seance that went on there, and he suspected something of foul play with his wife, but he was also concerned that nobody had been seen coming in or out of the house since the seance. He was right to be concerned. Something of an unearthly nature happened there, ma'am. I can confirm it.
Understood.
If you need further details, I would be happy to oblige.
Summarize for me.
The seance went wrong. It called through what I can only assume were demons. They looked like people that I knew, except they had claws. I was able to dispatch them as I went throughout the house, and I discovered a device in the attic. Some sort of apparatus, a machine. I intuited that it was somehow causing the whole affair and destroyed it. The demons vanished, and things returned to normal, save for the fact that there were many dead bodies.
Were you able to find any effects belonging to the late Mrs. Wright that could be of use?
No, ma'am.
Please make me a willpower influence roll.
I want to use a drama point for this, but I don't think I'm going to. Although, does Mrs. I'm assuming Mrs. Radcliffe is feeling positive to neutral about her? I just need to know because I need to add charisma if she is.
Charisma is not relevant in this instance.
Ah, understood. And there before the grace of God. 2 levels of success.
May I see your medicine bottle, please, Alice?
Yes, of course, ma'am.
She stretches out her gloved fingers, plucks the medicine, rattles it, places the pills inside a drawer.
Ma'am?
You're excused from the premises, Alice.
I'm terribly sorry. I don't understand.
If you wish, to behave in this manner, if you wish to lie to me, to betray me, silence, girl. I think it's time you remember what your life was like before you had my forbearance. Leave. Only come back when you are ready to make amends for your behaviour.
She just sort of... Sorry, you...
Consider yourself lucky I let you leave at all.
She's just gonna quietly, stiffly bow and back out of the room.
Lucy did well last night. I expect you to follow her example in future if you ever wish to live within these halls again.
Yes, ma'am. And she's just gonna duck out. As she's leaning against the door, she's gonna like clutch at the wall like she's trying to get purchase on something. And she's just gonna run out of the school.
You run out into the snow. Where are you going to?
She has no idea. She's just trying to get away and, like, get some air and, she's not really thinking right now.
Hours pass of you wandering through London. It is bitterly cold. I need you to make me a difficult constitution roll.
Understood. No levels of success.
It's only as the sun begins to dip below the horizon that you begin to realize you can feel the sensation of sweat trickling down your back. You look down at your hands, pull one of your gloves off to see how tight and drawn the skin has got across your knuckles. You can feel the knot in your chest tightening. Your hand reaches for your pocket for the medicine that isn't there.
No. Please, no. She starts heading back to the school.
You walk through the courtyard. You go through the main doors. When you reach her office door, the small medicine bottle is sat at its foot on top of a note.
What does it say?
It directs you to the most meagre quarters in the school. There is a single pill inside the bottle.
She dry swallows it as quick as she can.
Not loosened.
As she turns to go, she just goes, "I'm sorry." Doesn't even know who she's talking to.
Oliviera, you had made plans to meet with Alice. Where to meet her, when? She doesn't show up.
Then I would go to the school.
It's quite a regal-looking building.
Mhm.
There's a large open courtyard.
Mhm.
Large double doors. How do you approach the building?
Is it just the one entrance I can see?
If you're exploring it, there are side doors, side single doors.
Would I remember any of them from the last time I was here?
You were brought in through such a door, yeah.
Okay, I try and find that door.
You're able to find a door at the side of the building. It's small, tucked away from the street. It is locked when you try it.
I would like to try and pick the lock.
Please make me a crime dexterity roll.
Index. I don't get any kind of bonus for engineering, do I?
No. It's a different skill set.
Cool.
Unfortunately, you take a hairpin and try and pick it, but you just don't have the dexterity in your hands, particularly in the cold.
Are there any windows I can see through? Could I try and subtly spot Alice? See if I can just kind of sneak round the outside of various buildings, any outhouses, any accommodation blocks, anything I can find, and just peep in through windows, seeing if I can spot signs of life, and particularly from her.
Make me a dexterity crime roll.
Okay. Please let this be better than the last one. Okay, 13, 3 levels of success.
Sneaking around the back of the building, you see in large galleries, open, long classroom-style rooms at the back of this building. You see girls being taught in a classroom, as you would expect at a finishing school, but some of them quite a bit younger than you would expect to be attending a finishing school.
Okay. How old roughly would you say?
It varies from sort of 10 up to to sort of 18.
Okay.
Different ages cohorts together. And then in one classroom, they're drilling what for a moment you think might be dance moves. A waltz or no. The hands are moving too swiftly. The patterns are too jagged and firm. And then next room, wooden canes being used instead of swords. Row upon row of young women being taught all the skills you've seen Alice exemplify through the time you've known her.
Mm-hmm.
Not things taught to young ladies in finishing schools.
Mm-hmm. Is there any sign of Alice?
Not that you can see.
If I were to go to the front door, would it be unlocked?
You have no way of knowing. Would you like to check?
I'd like to check.
The front door opens.
Mm-hmm. I go in.
There is a large open foyer, currently empty, though you can hear movement in other parts of the building.
Okay. When I was here with Alice, did she give any indication as to where, like...
You were taken straight up to a parlour on the first floor and left there. You saw long corridors and a stairwell, that was it.
Have I been home, or do I still have the lilies?
You have been home. This is about a week hence.
Oh, okay. What could we say that the trip we were meant to go on today would have included buying more flowers, or like I went to...
Certainly, if you wish to have purchased flowers before you got here, I think that's a reasonable reckoning. That was the chore you were out to do.
Mm-hmm. If there's a table or a desk somewhere in this foyer, I'd like to leave a single flower on it. So that if anyone else should see it, they'd either be confused or think nothing of it. But if Alice should see it, I'm hoping that she would intuit that I've been there looking for her.
Alice spent that day talking long and hard about the language of flowers. From the mixed bouquet you hold in your hand, you pluck a single yellow rose, a symbol of fidelity, and leave it on the desk. Do you leave?
Can I tell? So I'm guessing there's a foyer and then there's various rooms off it, right? Can I tell which rooms are full, which might be a good place to sneak around to? Because I don't want to bump into people, is the thing. Am I able to hear definitively where would be good places to avoid?
You can make me a perception notice roll to see if a room is occupied.
Yeah, I'm going to do that. Nope, nothing.
You just can't be certain.
Okay. How... People would ring for a doctor at this point, right? That's a thing that people would do in this particular...
People would send for a doctor, perhaps, yes.
Okay. I'd like to go back out the front door, close it very, very softly, and I'd like to turn around and knock on it.
Okay.
Kind of very brusquely, very efficiently.
Shortly thereafter, a woman in a black servant's uniform opens the door. Yes?
Hello, I was sent for. I heard someone called for a doctor.
No, miss, I'm afraid you must have the wrong address. We have our own doctor on call.
Oh, how strange. And she checks a bit of paper that has nothing in particular scrawled on it. No, this was definitely the address that I was...
No, you are mistaken, miss.
I see. Well, should you ever need a doctor, because I was most certainly directed to this place, and I give
Who directed you, if I may ask, miss?
I beg your pardon?
Who directed you?
Well, if I was not indeed sent for, as far as you're aware, I don't think that is something that is necessary to discuss. Patient confidentiality and all that kind of thing. You wouldn't want to betray confidence now, would you?
You gave your name.
Here's my name. Here's my address. You may keep it on file if you wish.
I'll be certain to let the lady of the house know.
Thank you. I'd be most grateful. I turn around and leave.
The door's closed. Edmund. Eventually, you do return to St. Hubert's, but as you said, it's not that day. What would you be doing with your time until then?
So we start off with Edmund sitting in his very small room, staring at Skip as he recovers from his injuries. The frustration of the circumstances and his own inability to sufficiently protect his single surviving member of his family eats away at him. The anger that brings as he sits there just kind of stewing in his own juices eventually results in him kind of throwing a metal cup against a wall in frustration and leaving and stepping out, taking Skip with him. He walks through Whitechapel and he arrives at the police station. When he gets there, he asks to speak to who is it? Let me just check this. Yeah, he asks to speak to Constable O'Malley.
All right, give me 1 minute. Desk clerk disappears back into the station, and shortly thereafter, O'Malley comes out. He's looking a bit more drawn than you've seen him before. He's not as clean shaven. His beard started to become a bit longer. His eyes look tired. Edmund, was there...
Piss and bones, you look rough. You all right?
I've not been sleeping as well, but...
I'm sorry to hear that, mate.
Are you doing all right?
I could use a bit of a favour, if I'm being honest. It's a bit of a different one, but I think you might be able to help me out.
Yeah, mate. Let's say he sort of steps over into a quieter corner with you. What's the matter?
So, I ain't so good with my letters and stuff, but I'm trying to find someone. A doctor. Name of Algernon... I want to say Algernon Ceres, I think his name is. Now, he ain't nothing to worry about. I'm just trying to find him.
He hushes you. Not here.
Oh, all right. Okay.
Look, my shift ends in about 4 hours. I'll meet you down the pub down the way.
All right. No worries. I'll see you there.
See you there. Buy you a pint. It's been too long.
Yeah, all right. With no kind of further communication, I leave. I head to the pub.
Okay. You have to sit there a while before O'Malley comes in. This is not a copper's pub. This is very much a working man's pub. He's specifically chosen one where some of his compatriots aren't to be present. He nods to you as he comes in, heads over to the bar, gets a fresh pint for you, seeing that yours has gone down to dregs, and one for himself, and comes over. Right. You can't be asking about stuff like that at the station, man. It's not...
Why not? I mean, it's just a name. I didn't even know it would ring any bells for you.
Don't bring any... You were the one who... Look.
Well, yeah,
I don't know...
Sorry, go on.
Look, I don't know much, but we had a doctor come see him in the holding cells. Within hours, a carriage came by. People came out. Black suits. All I knew was that Inspector Hayes told me to keep my nose out of it. He was taken. We've not seen hide nor hair of him since. And we aren't to talk about it.
Do you know where he was taken?
I've got no clue, mate.
Interesting. All right. Well, That's interesting. I suppose you could find out, could you? Ask a question. You can at least ask the question. It's going to cost you nothing. Bit of curiosity.
I don't... Yeah, what did curiosity kill?
Nearly got Skip killed is what it did.
What? And he sort of leans down and sort of offers his hand to Skip, who dutifully kind of sticks his head in his hand, and he scratches his hand and says, "What happened?"
Edmund tells him everything. Everything. Holding nothing back. And when he finishes, he goes, "Now, I get that sounds like a lot of long stories for short people, but on my
When
mum,
you mention the
that's what
piper,
happened."
he goes white as a sheet.
You all right?
I didn't think it was real.
What didn't you think was real? What are you on about?
No, mate. I met a man after that business in Mitre Square. Do you remember the time two got ripped in one night?
Yeah.
I couldn't get it out of my...
What are you?
I drank too much. I was in a right state.
O'Malley, what are you saying?
There was a man. He was wearing all these... It was like a suit made all these different colours. I thought he was a clown or something. I thought there must have been a carnival on a green somewhere, but he said we had a problem.
What'd you do?
He just said he could take care of the problem. I didn't think it was real. I thought it was a coincidence. It was just a dream. I was drunk. It was really the piper.
What problem was he fixing for you? This hyper.
The Ripper.
You're saying he got the Ripper?
He said he'd sing him into the river.
So he's gone.
I don't know, mate, but we've not had... We've not had another woman taken the same way, not since.
You get back to that station. You ask that question. And we'll see where we end up. But this is not over by a long shot. Not a long shot.
I'll ask. I can't promise what I'll find out, but I'll ask.
All I'm asking is that you do the question. I need to find that player.
He downs the rest of his pint, wraps his coat around him and goes out into the night.
If I may continue.
Absolutely.
A day or so later, Edmund is walking through Whitechapel. He leaves Whitechapel and heads towards a much more affluent area. As he's walking there, he's heading towards a well-known area of education, that sort of thing, the university type area. because, and again, someone fact check me on this one, but in late Victorian period, 1880s, 1890s, one of the things that was famous at that time was that the medics would often do autopsies in an open forum, and the public could go and watch within reason. And so as he's walking through Whitechapel, he's actually going to, and I'm happy to roll for this, he's going to try and pinch like a semi-nice shirt that he could put on, change into, so he doesn't look quite as grubby. He's going to, try and do something with his hair so he doesn't look quite as grim.
Might be a dexterity crime roll to steal someone else's clothes.
Yep, I can quite happily roll that. See how well this works. Creme dex, come on, here we go. I'm not going to drama point this.
You barely jump out of the garden where the clothes are hanging before you're spotted by the person inside the house, buttoning up the not particularly nice shirt you've managed to steal at a back garden in Whitechapel. You're able to make yourself more presentable than usual.
Yep. Sufficiently presentable that I won't be thought twice of when I kind of attend one of these lectures. And I attend the event, and I kind of make some inquiries and just talk to people generally, doing my best to cover up my common accent. And as part of that, I would probably want to try and talk to people somewhat tactically, maybe drop the name Dr. Ceres once or twice and see if any reactions. I'd be looking very acutely for reactions on that sort of thing.
You make mention to a couple of the more academic-looking people who do kind of crunch their noses up at you a bit during the lecture, the demonstration by one Dr. Moritz, who is sort of with a slight German accent, demonstrating the dissection of the body that he has. A late middle-aged man lies on the table, all the remains of one. Eventually, one of the students sort of, I think Dr. Moritz has worked with him, but that's the only way I've heard the name. Anyway, if you don't mind, I do have to pay attention.
So at the end of the event, I would then look to speak to Dr. Moritz, and genuinely, legitimately, and honestly and enthusiastically compliment him on the quality of the instruction that was given, the clarity. I would probably mention some of the things that I'm familiar with from the stuff I've done, and just have a genuine conversation with the guy. And in passing, again, name drop.
Make me a willpower influence roll, please.
Awesome. This is probably not going to go well, but we'll see what happens. 1 level of success on a 10.
Initially, you clock that very, very quickly sort of disguised look of not quite disgust, but distaste when you approach him. And you initially get the sense that you're being humoured. That said, as you sort of make some of the points they are very much layman's observations, but quite accurate and astute ones, you notice the demeanour shifts slightly. Well, thank you, young man. You've clearly paid very close attention. I appreciate that.
It fascinates me. It really does fascinate me.
That is, your curiosity does you credit. Was there something else I could help you with?
I mean, I fully intend to attend more of these events.
You'll be very welcome.
It would be lovely to strike up discourse around some of the things that you are describing and explaining, because I find them fascinating. And if there are others, who are in your field that you find interesting as well, I'd be fascinated if you could point me in their direction, because I think a thirst for knowledge is nothing short of something that should be fostered and encouraged to grow. And you seem like the sort who would be inclined to see that happen with abundance.
He looks vaguely amused, but he's being he's being accommodating. Certainly, you'll be very welcome at any of my lectures in the future.
Thank you so much. And that's just a thing that I would then attend in kind of here and there, keeping an ear to the ground throughout from here forward, whether that's once a week or whatever it is. That's kind of my key thing. And the one other thing that I would want to do in that period of time would be to scout out the factory and find a place that had a door that I would be able to lock and have as my own space that I can kind of, essentially, in order for me to move into this environment and for me to be comfortable, I need to have somewhere that's my bolt hole, somewhere that is secure, that is mine, that people can't get into, and ideally with a bit of space for me to do some of the kind of experimentation pieces based on kind of what I've seen and done so far.
When you visit, Margaret, when you're sort of looking around, comes up, and she simply presses a key into your hand and points outside through one of the windows to, there is an outbuilding. It's clearly intended for storage. When you come in, the bottom floor of this quite large it's almost like a barn style building. The bottom floor is paved, and there are still quite a few old sort of crates lingering around. But there is a ladder leading up to a sort of mezzanine level that has thick wooden flooring, long tables on it, clearly a sort of workshop, and there are skylights above it providing ample light. But she's given you the only set of keys to both that door and the large double cargo doors that let things in and out as well.
Excellent. In that case, that would probably be where he would set up shop, as well as where he would stay while there. He wouldn't stay in the main factory building.
Great. There is, I would say, for a downtime action, given some of your skill set, you would be able to make it comfortable, put together a pallet, even like install maybe a small stove.
Yes.
Stuff like that to make it livable. It's a lot more space than you're used to, actually. And once you've got it sort of the way you wanted it, it would be significantly more comfortable than where you had been living. The roof doesn't leak, for one.
So again, based on that, I would kind of evacuate, like leave all of my stuff from the old place, move it all over here, hand in my notice for the room rent, and be here permanently. The first thing I would do would be to get a blanket in front of the stove for Skip.
The first week that passes and you realise there's just a couple more coins in your pocket from not having to pay rent. If that keeps up, eventually you will be able to go up a level in your resources quality.
Awesome. As soon as I have those spare coins, I take Skip to someone who is qualified to deal with animals. I know veterinary medicine wasn't huge at that point in time, but I would take him to someone who would be able to just check him over because he's been through the ringer recently. So that'd be my first protocol. Yeah.
One thing I will say is Skip has quite decent constitution and is therefore healing quite well over the days.
Nice. Okay. Based on that, I am more than happy for that to be the entirety of my kind of downtime. That was quite a lot from me. Sorry.
No, not at all. No apologies necessary. Before I get back to Alice, Tristan?
Yes?
Anything more from you?
I think I have a short thing, and I would invite anyone to oversee it who thinks they might. And that is Tristan at night, darkening the door of Katrin Sato.
When you knock...
Oh, it's a special knock.
Yeah. The curtains are drawn open, and the lines of her face have settled into the same tolerant frown that you've noticed she tends to adopt whenever she sees you. Tristan?
Miss Sato.
Katrin.
Allow me my brief indulgences, won't you?
No. What do you want?
No. I was hoping there was something more I might be able to ascertain from you.
Come in.
He does. Is there a reasonable expectation of privacy?
Yes. No one else is here. Mary went home for the day hours ago. It's night.
I understand. I understand the linear flow of time.
Do you?
It will... Oh, I don't know how to deal with people who aren't charmed by me or trying to kill me. It's just the two these days.
Speaking of which, would you like tea?
Only if I can watch it being made very carefully.
With me. And she leads you back into the back where the small sort of kitchen attaches onto the triage room where she treats patients.
The condition of which we spoke, the one that we attempted your particular remedy for, that, I'm afraid, was not efficacious. I feel as if it is, in fact, getting quite a deal stronger. Is there anything else you know? Anything else that we could try? Anything else that you can teach me?
Teach you?
I don't want to have to put you into danger every time I come here asking for... I'll find the answer myself if I have to.
No. No, that's all right. My parents... bad flu. About 10 years ago. My mum grew up in Wales. That's where she's from. My dad was a merchant sailor. He came over from Japan. I don't know as much about that side of my heritage. I've never been myself. That kind of travel was never on the cards for me. But I've made a point to read books. A lot of that involves reading between the lines. You can tell when... I knew enough from my dad that I could tell the difference between the way a British man might see a country and the way that people from that country might see themselves tend to diverge quite a lot. But something I picked up on when we have these... I don't know if it's the church or our culture or something, but when we deal with things that are spiritual, I think here we're quite inclined to be resistant to see one way of doing things, to say this thing that's visiting. You talk so much about fighting it. Consider trying to talk to it. I know it's frightening, but from what you've said, it's not done any harm.
It is, in the most literal sense, frightening. But
Lots of things are scary. I'm scary. Doesn't make me bad.
Tristan turns on the briefest iota of the fear that he can. Like, not enough to trigger.
I understand. I'm going to make a willpower roll for her. Okay, so a little bit of we did just come out. But I stand by what I said.
I would stand by what you said as well. Perhaps there is a reason I should be looking in the mirror just a little bit more than I am. And not for vanity, don't. No, you're right.
Usually am.
Tristan, oh, go ahead.
Usually
Tristan,
am.
Tristan does turn. What is it that she's got on the...
They're sort of cross-hatched marks. It's witch marks.
How very interesting. I don't suppose you'd tell me more about those. And I'm good if we...
Yeah,
Yeah.
Could, yeah. Nathaniel. Anything from you?
Well, the main thing I was going to do got stolen from me. How dare you be so clever, Sean? Yes, you.
Is there anything else you would like to do?
People might notice Nathaniel would pointedly not visit the factory at all unless asked by someone. Otherwise, he just wouldn't show up there. He would go see Father Sullivan in his study.
So it's late one night as he's working. Nathaniel, what can I do for you?
I'm so sorry, Father Sullivan. We recently got commissioned to investigate something.
Recall.
As a reward, we were given a fairly large property to share between the 5 of us. And I don't feel it's right. I don't want to leave from here. I can't just walk up and go away from everything I've ever wanted.
You could divest yourself of the property, leave it in the hands of the other 4. I had wondered why Edmund His landlady mentioned that he'd removed himself from the premises.
Ah,
He's not been... We have not been as close communication as we previously were. I think he's taken my decision quite hard, unfortunately.
does care for you a lot.
And I've... But I understand I understand why he feels as he does. If it were in my power to make a different decision, I might do. But either way, the Cardinal should be arriving in the next couple of days. And I believe it would be appropriate to begin the ordination soon thereafter. My understanding is he has some members of my old order travelling with him who are also prepared to take on the holy orders. We will do the mass here.
Here?
In St. Hubert, it feels appropriate.
I'm humbled for so much effort being done on my behalf.
Not at all. It's earned. And I think Cardinal Amato will see in you what I do. And I think that will give us ample time for a transitional period before I move on. I can support you during your initial duties, and then once you are comfortable, I can take my leave.
You deserve your peace.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, I've taken up so much of your time already. I will thank you, as always.
It's quite all right, Nathaniel.
Are
you happy for me to cutscene the next part?
Yes, but I have a few things I want to do after then. You can cutscene this. That's fine.
Well, what I was going to cutscene was Cardinal Amato is a gentleman slightly older than Father Sullivan. Swept back, silver grey hair over worn but strong features. The ordination goes ahead. As part of that, you are presented to the Cardinal. He asks you questions of your fitness, your willingness to root out evil, to shepherd your flock towards good. He lays his hands on you and offers a blessing. He leads you in the prayer of consecration. Your hands are anointed with holy oil so that they might always do good. And you prostrate yourself during the singing of the Litany of Saints, amongst them St. Hubert. And thus you become Father Nathaniel Wolf. Alice. You are made to scrub the floors, to take out the chamber pots. You're made to do every piece of menial work. She never beats you. You're never punished the way you were as a girl. Apart from the fact that the medicine comes a lot less frequently than it did. And only ever a single pill. Never enough that you could leave for more than a day before that knot in your chest grows too tight and you begin to shake. You note the day when you were meant to go and meet Oliviera. And on that day, later into the evening, as you're still cleaning, your hands cracked and blistered from all the work you have been doing, you find, in amongst the rubbish from the day, a single yellow rose. Nothing like this is ever left in the house, apart from the flowers, of course, in Mrs. Radcliffe's office. And she doesn't particularly care for roses. Certainly not of this sort.
She's going to kind of hold the rose to her chest for a second.
No. That while you are in favour, you can perhaps shelter people who may otherwise gain the ire of Mrs. Radcliffe. You've done it before with a particular student who was one of your favourites, or when another girl has failed at an assignment, or at very least not succeeded as well as Mrs. Radcliffe would like.
She has an idea. What time is it right now?
It's late, about 10 p.m. But
okay,
the matron will almost certainly still be working.
Okay, then... Well, no, it probably wouldn't be open. She's going to go to bed as early as she can and head out the next morning to a flower shop.
You would not be allowed to leave the premises at this point.
Oh, okay. Crap. But are there are there flowers in the courtyard?
Nothing like that is maintained here.
Crap. Am I allowed to interact with any kind of courier, or I don't know, somebody who can relay messages?
You are not presently allowed to speak to anyone beyond the bounds of the school.
Okay. Last attempt then. Did Oliviera ever mention to Alice where she lived?
I don't believe so, no.
Crap.
No, but I left my name and address when I
You did?
came to the front door.
Okay. And would Alice have been able to get access to that information in some way?
You would not know it was there is the issue, so you wouldn't know to look for it. Of course, any information that maybe had been gleaned about anyone, particularly if you suspected that had been left by Oliviera, would probably be in Mrs. Radcliffe's office.
Oh, but she's still working, and I don't want to piss her off anymore. How far away is the factory?
From here, a couple of miles. A bit more than that, actually, about 3 miles.
How long would it take to get there and back?
On foot, if you were waving at speed, which you could, a few hours.
Okay. Alice is going to go to her quarters, rummage through some of her things, take out a particular book, open it, pull out a page of it. Then she is going to use, I'm assuming she has some kind of writing implement. She's going to underline a certain thing.
Mhm.
She's going to as quickly as she can, head to the factory. I don't know
If you're going to get out of the building, I'm going to need a crime dexterity roll from you.
Okay, this one I'm using a drama point for. Okay, drama point. Down. Crime dexterity. There we go. 5 levels of success.
Oh, amazing.
Can I please get a perception notice roll from you as well?
Okay. Oh boy.
Oh.
Two levels of success.
You've been relegated to one of the unpleasant, cramped, almost cupboards in the attic. As you make your way down the outside of the building, you hear 2 voices coming from the room that you're going down past. Mrs. Radcliffe's office. You're not visible from where you're climbing down. Yes, Mum, she came today. I think she was looking for Alice. And she left her address. How convenient. Enough of this. Send Lucy. Deal with it tonight. It's in Berkeley Square. Shouldn't even take her more than an hour.
Alice is changing where she's going.
You sprint through the night. Berkeley Square is not far away. You reach it faster than you know Lucy can gather her equipment and sortie. But you realise, as you stand in the square, you don't know which house it is. Please make me a willpower roll.
Okay. Not a difficult one?
Not difficult.
Okay. $17 for 5 levels of success.
A set of curtains opens on one of the houses and reveal a vase on a mantelpiece. Sorry, a vase on a windowsill containing a fresh bunch of lilies.
Starts insistently rapping on the door.
Oliviera, you were woken in the dead of night by someone banging on your front door.
I go down and answer it. Don't want Philippa to wake up.
Stood
Ideally.
in a rough shift, barely recognizable without makeup, without her finery, is Alice.
Oh my word. Come in.
Thank goodness.
Come in.
No.
No, come in.
You need to go.
What?
You're in danger.
I-
You left your address. They know where you live. They're coming. You have to leave. You have to get your housemate. You have to get her out of here too. You have to run.
I'm not running.
You don't
Come on in. You're
understand.
at your look estate. Come on.
You're in danger here. You have to understand that. You can't.
Come on in and close the door.
She does. What do you have for a weaponry? Some sort of blade? I know you're a doctor, so scalpel maybe, but do you have
Sure.
a kitchen knife? Even that will do.
Sure, we have a kitchen. What? Come and sit down. Tell me what's going on.
No. You don't have. There's no time.
Alice, where have you been?
Sorry, I missed
What
our
happened to
meetup
you?
time.
No.
Mrs. Radcliffe found out.
Found out what?
She told me to take any effects of Clementine Wright from the house, including the apparatus. I didn't. I gave it to you. I
That's
lied
why?
to her. I lied to her. I can't believe I did that. I lied. I said there was nothing. But she knew. She knew. She wasn't pleased. Just now, I was coming. I was going to see you, but I heard they were talking. Her and you left your address.
They're sending someone. For me.
Yes. They. If I had to guess, they think you're distracting me, twisting things for me, making things more difficult. You're in danger. Terrible danger. You don't understand what we do.
I came to look for you and I saw a class in progress. It was not the typical teachings I'd associate with a finishing school for fine young ladies.
In our defense, we do raise fine.
There was
young ladies.
defense,
It's
quite a
just-
lot of attack too.
Yes,
Alice.
we do raise fine young ladies. It's just simply
Why
more on the curriculum.
are you saying we when they do this to you? Why?
Because I'm one of them. I have been since I was a child. There's no time. She could be here any minute.
Alice. Sit down, please. Please.
She does.
Yeah, sit down with her. There are a couple of options here to help me understand. Either you have been so indoctrinated is strong, but you are so used to this way of life that you cannot see any way outside of it. And to even question the methods of your elders, and I suppose they would say betters, strikes fear into you, or they have something on you. If they do, what is it? Why are you so afraid? What is the worst that they could do if you don't go back?
Well, beyond the obvious of killing me,
Mm-hmm.
I could end up. 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 I back.
Why would she
there.
kill you? For your secrets? For what you know of the place? What?
For disobedience. You have to understand. A blade is not supposed to think for itself. It is to be wielded. You cannot be wielded if you are broken. What use is that for you?
You seem to have forgotten that you're a human being before
I
being
am
a weapon.
I am objectively not.
How so?
To make something dull, any kind of activity, repetition is the best solution for that. That is true regardless of the task. Even if it is something like taking a life. Repetition. Repetition and repetition and repetition until there is nothing but obedience. Until you can stand in a pool of someone else's blood and feel absolutely nothing. I would not call that a person. I would call it a thing, an object, a weapon.
Alice,
Wouldn't you?
Alice, you do not hear this. Oliviera, my dear, there's a young lady with a sword trying to get in through the back window. I suggest you make a hasty retreat. Philippa is stood behind you.
I turn around to look at her.
You do not see her, Alice. There's no one there.
Thank
Run.
you. Run?
Yes.
What about you?
You really are dense for quite such a smart young lady.
Doctor, who are you talking to?
They can't touch me. Run! Run!
She runs.
You grab Alice's hand. You both sprint out into the snow.
Yeah, sorry, I think I froze there for a second. What was that?
What you see is Oliviera grabs your hand, having seemingly just had a conversation with someone who is not there, and you both run out of the front into the snow.
Okay.
Sorry, I didn't introduce you. That was my the lady for whom I buy flowers. She's a dear relative of my former. It's a long story.
Doctor, are you feeling quite well? There was nobody there. There was nobody there.
You saw nothing?
No.
You heard nothing? And that explains it.
You run all the way to the Whitechapel Matchstick Company. Margaret answers after some hammering on the door, lets you in, finds something to wrap poor Alice in, and you're able to rest in what was Mr. Hilary Wright's bed for the night, a roaring fire warming Alice back to herself. A single pill resides in a small glass vial in your pocket. Morning finds Whitechapel. You stir from your bed. Two of you. To hear a bell ringing in the distance. Father Nathaniel Wolfe is woken by the same sound. Edmund hears it from the factory as well. And Tristan, having left early in the morning, not only hears the bell, but sees the black tendrils of smoke reaching into the sky on the Whitechapel skyline. You all reach Sato's apothecary at just the same time. The flames burning out of the front window. Daubed on the side in white paint. Exodus 22:18. Would the father like to tell us what that verse is? You're muted.
You're
Reno.
muted.
I don't know it by heart.
Would you like me to tell you? Thou shalt not suffer a witch to live. And that is where we will end episode 10 of Lanterns of London.